To our look at 1986. These are the songs, the top 10 songs that KROQ played back in the year that was 1986, and these are all your favorites, I think. Maybe we'll see.
1986, my junior year of high school.
I was about to say, where were you in 1980? So junior year in high school, you were and you were in Orange County, or
Orange County, California. Yeah, so I'm a KROQ listener and listen to the top 106.7 countdown every year. And yeah, so this all of these songs, yes, are I know very, very well.
Okay. Did you have a favorite personality? Were you on KROQ? Did you
favorite DJ personality? I mean, I love Rodney, but Jed the Fish maybe because he'd been around for so long and knew Oingo Boingo and like personally and seemed to have really good taste and stuff like that. It's weird because 1986, 87 is where KROQ started to kind of slightly go a little off track, where they got different DJs and they got the style of music around 86 and 87 changes a bit, where they start using a lot of computerized drums and drums that sound like, banging on trash cans and stuff like that. So I would say like up to 85 is more my jam, but I'm perfectly willing to engage in 1986.
Yeah, junior year. Yeah, you know everything about music when you're a junior in high school. That's like hard fast rules. We were all like that.
I mean, all I really knew is all these bands that I really loved, like the Smiths and Aztec Camera and people like that. They started putting out kind of like their shittier records. Oh wait, can I say that on this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all I really know is like all of the bands I started to love started producing their records very like more commercially in a way, But yeah.
Where were you going in the OC? Where were you seeing shows at?
So my first concert that I went to was Oingo Boingo at the Pacific Amphitheater on Halloween.
Brilliant. There you go.
That was in 1985, Halloween of 1985. And that one was on YouTube for a while, so I would like over the past few years watch it occasionally.
Yeah.
Like I was there.
The grass up high, up on in the.
Yeah, I was pretty far back. I'm pretty sure. But that's a pretty small amphitheater, I think, so it felt pretty good. I would go to Universal Amphitheater sometimes. Like my friends and I were really into ska, so I went to a place called Fenders where I saw Fishbone, and I think I saw Gwen Stefani's first show with No Doubt, because she I remember her brother introducing her and saying, "This is my sister, she's gonna sing with the band now." But we used to come up to LA and see ska shows occasionally. We would come up the Long Beach Sports Arena. I remember we would see shows. So places like that.
That was my first U2 show, is 1985 in the Long Beach area. Unforgettable Fire. That was me. That was
wow.
It was a good one.
I didn't get to see him until the Joshua Tree tour, and I was super far away. And that was the only show that I've spent. I stayed up all night at the record store.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah,
and we talked about that.
And it was like I got there the night before at like 5 p.m. or whatever, got in line, probably 20th in line because everyone was doing it. It's a big party. Everyone's up all night. Finally at 9 a.m. tickets go on sale. And to have done that and then be like in the nosebleeds still is just like, it just feels so like you wasted your time.
Now, but then you were just happy to be there.
Yeah.
And it was part of the the communal experience, I think, the being out there. And
they were all the same price too. $20. $20.
Yeah.
$20, whatever. Yeah. All the same. Yeah. Speaking of which, Holly, how are we on the Cure tickets, which went on sale at 10 a.m.?
I got them.
Did you?
You got them?
I got them. I was kind of, I was, I got them.
Verified fan?
I got verified.
I'm on the wait list.
Me too.
Oh, so was Dave. I took anything. So I'm not even sure. I got them and then I haven't looked again to see what we got so long after, unless, you want to know now.
Well, I mean, I like to know things. What
I'll
Yeah.
look and I'll see where they are. So I think we're going on the 20. I don't know. I was just pressing buttons.
Okay.
I'm bummed because none of my verified fan things have worked out recently.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten tickets for anything. The one time it's ever worked out though was Springsteen on Broadway, and I was in the front row for that, which was
Wonderful.
Wow.
I saw Springsteen in Tulsa. I went to Tulsa to go see Springsteen,
Oh yeah, I listened to that show.
which actually worked out really well. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good one, right?
It was a really good one. And actually, yeah, it was the same.
He's not changing his set list enough. That's the one thing I would say.
But it's a great
It's a great set list, but like my friend is going to multiple nights.
Yeah.
And is kind of bummed to know that essentially everything but maybe one or two or three songs is the exact same every night.
That's what he did on Broadway. I mean, he kept it the same. He never.
Well, on Broadway though, it was intermingled with like personal monologues.
Yeah.
About things. So you couldn't really change up that. I mean, this is like,
yeah.
I mean, I have to say though, the last Springsteen show I saw on the River Tour, I went and bought the recording of that show recently. I listened to it again. I'm just like, oh my God, it's like 3.5 hours long. He does the entire River album, double album, and then just kept going and kept going and kept going. It's like, so I'm good for like, marathon Springsteen shows,
I mean, I know he's 73 and he looks great. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he's okay. I'm a little concerned. I
think it's probably just COVID because everyone has had COVID in the band, like cycling through, you know, so I'm pretty sure hopefully it's not bad COVID, but little Steven did say it wasn't all that serious. So I think it's probably I think it's probably just COVID and he's out for, 2 weeks or whatever.
All right. Good. Okay. But yeah, it was it was just phenomenal. I tried to get verified for LA and I didn't get verified for that.
Me either. Yeah.
I went to Tulsa to see it. That was worth it. I went because the Dylan Museum is there. You're a Dylan fan too, aren't you?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm a casual. I mean, when I say casual fan, I have every song he's ever released, but I haven't memorized them the way I have other bands. But that's in Oklahoma. That's interesting. I never thought I would ever go to Oklahoma.
That was my thinking too. And when I went down the list, like I have no excuse to go to Tulsa, and finally I had an excuse to go there, and I did do that, and I'm very happy I did.
We did do a Cleveland Comedy Bang Bang show recently, and I was excited to get an offer from Cleveland because I never thought I would be able to go to Cleveland just because the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was there. So we ended up going a day early, and then going to the Rock Hall of Fame, which was fun.
Yeah, travel is fun. That's what
So would you say it's worth going if you have no other reason to be in Cleveland, having been to the Rock Hall? Would you say it's worth it just to go?
Absolutely not.
It is the mistake by the lake still.
Yeah. It was fun for 2 hours.
Okay. All right. Not worth the trip.
Holly's always trying to say, okay, so now you love Cleveland is what Scott will say, right?
I loved doing the show in Cleveland because that audience was so great.
Yeah. Nice. And by the way, you guys came late. You were late to the U2 table. I saw them in 1983 on the War Tour.
Whoa!
At the Sports Arena.
Yes,
well, not to brag, but in 1983, I was seeing my friend's band who played U2 songs.
And what was the name of that band?
They were called the Innocents.
Oh,
not with a SE at the end, but with the ENTS at the end.
I like. I have to clarify that.
Yeah. And I was really, I was like, oh man, they were friends of mine. So I was like, these guys are great. And I was like making t-shirt designs for them and trying to figure out how to silk screen prints and stuff like that. And my dad was sort of like trying to help me with it. My dad was pretty supportive of like these weird ideas I would have, like sticking handlebars on a skateboard. I was trying to like turn my skateboard into a mini scooter at one point. He's like, okay, well, you'd have to get like handlebars and a little motor for the back and all this kind of stuff. It's like, oh, now they just sell them as scooters. But back then, there weren't these things.
You're ahead of
That's really sweet. That's really nice. That is support.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh.
I'm touched.
Did your dad drive you to shows? Like, Dad, I need to go.
No, but my friends, they would drive me to shows. So
were they licensed?
But you could, yeah.
Yeah, I think they were. No, yeah, I had a friend who was 2 years older who introduced me to a lot of bands like the English Beat and X and stuff like that. And so he would drive me to shows for a while, and then when I got to be 16, then my best friend in high school, he introduced me to Aztec Camera and the Smiths, and so he would drive me to shows. I was not allowed to go to some shows though. I was not allowed to go to the Queen is Dead tour, and that ended up and my mom was like, just go to their next tour.
Yeah.
And they never toured again. Same with Talking Heads, where like you could put in the back of the LA Times, there were ticket agencies that would allow you to put in a deposit for bands, and they would always be like Talking Heads, and they never toured again after it stopped making sense. So, yeah.
Yeah. God, I still remember that. Yeah. How important was that? Yeah. The back of the calendar section. Like,
oh yeah, because you'd hear
Yep.
about. Now I don't even know how to hear about shows. Like I was trying to figure out maybe the Cure verified fan thing or whatever. So I went on Ticketmaster for the first time in a while, and it popped up. There was a Fleet Foxes like show in a tiny club that I must have like seen it right when it went on sale or something, because tickets were still available. But I don't know how to hear about anything anymore. I guess I could follow all the venues or something on Twitter.
there's a thing, I'm on Songkick, and it always lets me know artists that are coming out. I
Oh,
seem
really?
to be catching a lot of that, like artists that interest you. Yeah.
It's always like me being surprised by something and then going like, well, I guess I'll spend $200 on a solo ticket.
Yeah. Do you go to shows alone? Do you do that?
Yeah, I used to drag my wife to them, but and she would enjoy them certainly, but after over a decade of dragging her to shows like Love and Rockets and stuff she has no interest in, it was pretty telling that this year for Christmas she gave me one single ticket for Crowded House at the Wildern. I was like, oh, you don't want to go. But so now I go to shows alone. I'm able to not be responsible for other people of like when we leave or when we get there or anything. I try to get there right before the band starts and leave right as they end.
Wait, you're telling me you just got that Crowded House ticket? Because that Crowded House show has been rescheduled from
Yeah.
like pre-COVID.
No, I was going to buy a last minute ticket because, again, I didn't know when they went on sale. And suddenly I was like, oh, they're doing a show. And I looked at them and they were sold out. And then it got rescheduled and everything. So, yeah. So she bought me one for Christmas.
I'm so excited.
That's love. Oh.